Mom, there's something wrong with Nana and Pop Pop.
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat. Slowly rip open your trapper keepers. I am Chris Purdy, and I'm here with the diaper-wearing Ryan Hootie.
After all those Thanksgiving feasts, boys, I might fill up those diapers.
Wholly convenient, no doubt about it. Also with us, we got Jay Topaz, Unstylish, Mr. Nasty, a.k.a. my big brother, Joey.
Power! Unlimited power! My voice is gone, and the only way I can really talk is if I imitate Emperor Palpatine. So,
Straight up
just
Senator
bear with me.
Palpatine.
This is going to be fucking awful.
Wow,
Push through it, man.
you're in bad shape.
You sound like shit, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I got some of that basement fungus from the fucking grandparents' house.
You should have stayed out of the damn basement. I got a question for y'all before we get too deep into the movie we're going to talk about today. Are you scared of old people?
Petrified.
Why are old people so scary, man?
Because that's everybody's future. It's like looking into a time machine.
But even when you're a little kid, old people are scary. And you don't have any concept
No,
of your own
as a little
mortality
kid,
at that
I
point.
loved fucking old people. They always had the best stories. They always have candy.
That's probably not a good thing. I would say that I'm the opposite. I'm annoyed by old people.
Annoyed. You think they need to get out of your lane? Is that what this is?
They drive slow. They move slow. They go through self-checkouts unbearably slow.
Well, they fought the Nazis for you, man. Can they have a couple of years to relax or what?
And then that generation created the baby boomers, and that's a whole other rabbit hole that we don't have time to go down, boys.
We're doing this whole Gen X versus Gen Z mudsling. Is that what we're about to do?
Well,
Sounds like somebody's being an ageist.
It does, no doubt about it.
Be sure to take up to our Twitter page and give us a piece of your mind, your thoughts on why all old people should be respected and not thrown in a trash heap as Hootie thinks.
how about that? Well, I'm looking forward to the comments.
Naturally. But I had a recurring dream as a kid about old people becoming vampires. Because the image I always had was no teeth, but the fangs just shoot out of the gums. I don't know why that stuck with me as a kid, but it did. I was always scared of old people.
I've been rewatching What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, and the last episode I watched was when the main guy, what's the main guy's name? It's escaping me. Nandor?
Morpheus.
Guillermo.
Nandor's old familiar comes back and he's like 80 and he wants to be turned into a vamp.
Oh, yeah. Remember that. That was
Very
a
good
good one.
episode.
The whole show was fantastic. I was kind of worried when Jermaine stepped away, the guy who did the movie and everything. But the show keeps trucking along. The formula is down pat.
I feel like he left them with, this is how this works.
Yeah. Today's assignment is 2015's The Visit. Lesson: you have to laugh to keep the deep darkies in a cave.
The Darkies. And this week, fellas, I will be running the show, which is kind of fitting because I feel like I am probably the one M. Night Shyamalan fan of the crew.
Oh, you can definitely take that flag and wave it around.
I don't feel like it's a fault of a flag here.
There's no tug of war going on with that flagpole. I'll go ahead and tell you that. I will say, thinking about the movie, it came up randomly, but it's very fitting for the holiday season, spending time with family. Worked out just right.
Yeah, I mean, it could be in the realm of a Thanksgiving film. Definitely better than Thanksgiving. I'm going to go and spoil that right now.
Wow. Speaking of Thanksgiving films, we all did catch Thanksgiving, Eli Roth together.
We did. And Joey, what did you think of your beloved Eli Roth's film?
Fantastic. He finally made a movie that was a simple, generic slasher format with his spin on it. And it came out wonderfully. Probably his best mainstream movie he's ever made.
Universal appeal. I think we all have a thumbs up for that one. So
Highly recommend. All right, so back to the visit. Let's hop into what the fans thought before we give our takes on it. There is a theme with these reviews, which will come to the front of them pretty soon here. First up is Darren's World 10 in October of 2017. He titled his review, "No Visitors Please." He says, "My first ever IMDb review." This is first, dudes. He moved him so much.
Cherry popping right here, right now.
"I am compelled to write this to save you the pain of watching it. The main girl is dreadful. She overreacts in every single scene, and the boy is equally annoying. What's all that rap about? Their dialogue was not natural. I fully worked out what was going on. To me, it was so obvious. This movie sucks. I still don't know what the final scene in the girl's bedroom was all about. Embarrassing, just simply crap. 1 out of 10 stars.
I think he watched like the beginning and the end of the movie. Like he just missed the fucking middle part. All right, the rapping is like, it's super cringy or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's very like on the nose for what kids are. Like kids are super fucking cringy anyway.
Yeah, especially around this time. I mean, this is before TikTok takes off, and this is kind of what TikTok is, right?
This kid's listening to Trick Daddy and Ludacris and Outkast. He's just trying to imitate.
The old heads. That's what they call them now. The old heads.
To that person's point, I can see the children being like caricatures of what children normally are. They're kids, but they're like extra.
I mean, we're watching a fucking horror movie. You gotta have some sort of disbelief.
Oh,
going into this.
I think the kids fucking nailed it. Like the kids were great in this movie.
Yeah, they're charismatic. If they were boring kids, then it would be unfortunately less
There's
interesting.
4 people in the entire movie.
Exactly.
They got to be good. They got to be decent, you know.
Yeah, and especially the
Don't
way the
forget the
grandparents are handled there.
All right. Next review, other side of the spectrum, is from R.D. Jaffers 1 from November 2019. Titled, "Much Better Than I Expected." They say, "I never write movie reviews," once again, "but I felt that this movie should be enjoyed by more people. This film definitely had moments where I was on the edge of my seat. There were also several funny moments. The script seemed well written and clever. I didn't think I would like the handheld camera effect, but it was very well done, and it did not make me motion sick as some others in this style have. Give this movie a chance if you're looking for a thrill. 9 out of 10 stars. I like that review because I see their point, and this is a very well done found footage setup.
Yeah, I think this is one of the least intrusive uses of found footage I've ever seen, which is a plus for me because that genre can definitely get irritating over time.
The reason for it being a found footage film, like plot wise, is actually it's good. It's believable.
Yeah, and the fact that the girl's trying to be a filmmaker accounts for like a lot of. It helps them get away with a lot of quote unquote good camera work, you know, because the girl
Like
knows how to set up a shot.
Yeah, the execution is good too, but the plot point, in my opinion, is better.
So let's hop into the little bit of the behind the scenes here. The writer and director of this film is the man, M. Night Shyamalan, who has done, to name a few, The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, Glass, Split, Old, and Knock at the Cabin.
You had me for the first 3. That's the only 3 I cared to write down.
That was in order of release date, I believe.
Yeah, those first 3 are bangers, man.
I love how you left out his fucking 2006 to 2013 years.
It's just there's
The camel's hump
that
right
fucking-
there in the middle.
Let's leave that fucking decade behind, huh?
Camel hump.
Oh, that's when us Shyamalan flag bearers just put our flags down and know when a dog's been beat.
Just let him resurrect like the phoenix. You knew it was coming. You're just counting those chips.
I found an interesting little factoid about M. Night. He lives on the same street in Philadelphia as Allen Iverson.
I'm sure that's a really expensive-ass gated community that we'll never see in our lives. Probably can't even pull it
He
up on
also,
Google Maps.
I got a cool little tidbit here. He wrote the screenplay for Michael J. Fox's Stuart Little.
Oh,
Or he
Whoa.
contributed
yes.
to the screenplay for it.
So tell me he wrote the iconic line. That's no mouse.
I think that's all he did.
That's
he wrote that.
my brother.
That's such a good movie. Ah.
I love Gina Davis, man. Does anyone know what the M stands for? I meant to look this up.
I did not look it up, actually. I know that the Knight was added when he was in college. His middle name is obviously not Knight.
He grew up in Philadelphia, but his parents were both immigrants, right? Doctors in a foreign country, somewhere in the Middle East.
Yes. And every one of his relatives has a PhD. That was a factor that I found as well. So
Were you talking about a fat dick?
Smart.
I didn't want to
fuckers.
come off as
Everybody in the
fat
family
dicks,
has a
huh?
fat dick.
I didn't want to come off as being stereotypical towards the community, but they all have PhDs.
A lot of smart folks.
Yeah, I fucking love Split. Split was so good, man. Anything with James McAvoy, dude. I like James McAvoy.
Hop into some behind the scenes stuff here. Before we get going here, I did want to say to Chris's point earlier, this was his Rocky IV comeback story for the ages. Take you back to Rocky IV. Rocky Balboa's already got all of his money. He's super rich. He's got a fucking robot, and he's just got everything that he ever wanted.
But he's
And then
still
he
not
just-
Arnold Schwarzenegger at this point, right?
He's still not.
All right, I get what you're saying, but damn, Rocky didn't lose 7 fights in a fucking row.
Well, that was the stopgap between 3 and 4. You see.
We just didn't film those. It was
Didn't film
in the
all that.
lore. In the lore, you got to read up on it. You don't read your Rocky media tie-in novels.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the canon fucking fan fiction?
I'm sure there's some canonical fan fiction out there. Check Reddit. I guarantee it exists.
Talking about Rocky fucking his trainer. Who was his trainer?
What, Mick?
Yeah, him and Mick. Some fan fiction about him and
Mick
Mick.
died in the third one, Joey. Good
That's what I'm
Lord.
talking about. Fan fiction.
Oh, it's brutal.
So this was the comeback. This is Hootie setting up the comeback here.
And I'll tell you why this is a Rocky IV comeback right now. After The Last Airbender and After Earth failed critically and financially, Shyamalan funded the visit by borrowing $5 million against his own home. In his own words, this was an attempt to regain artistic control after his recent movies had been denied final cut and were even taken away from him in post-production.
That's nuts, man. That takes some balls. But you said everybody in his entire heritage and genealogy is a doctor, so maybe that's not a lot of money. But it seems like a lot of fucking money to take out.
No,
of a
his
strong
house
home.
was on 125 acres
Whoa.
in primo Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh, where the fuck it is.
So what is
Philadelphia.
what is his home worth then? $20 million.
At
or
least
something?
5.
He probably took out home equity, and it's probably fine. It's probably not that big of a deal.
It just looks really cool, in a Wikipedia. Holy
Well,
shit!
he got
This dude
paid
bet the house on it.
At that point he was making 10+ million a movie.
That's his,
Even his shit movie, he's getting paid.
the whole lore of WrestleMania 1 was Vince McMahon put it all on WrestleMania and sold his house and all. Okay, it's a little
And
much.
it was a goddamn slobber knocker. But yeah. You're saying he get paid so much to make these movies, but his fee had to have been on the decline at this point. He'd made 4 or 5 bombs, right?
I just named off 2 horrible movies.
Your Last Airbender and After Earth, that's very big, expensive turds in a punch bowl.
I remember watching After Earth, and I didn't make it very far. It was just that bad of a film.
Oh, you got farther than me if you press play on that motherfucker.
This was M. Night Shyamalan's first film since The Village in 2004 to not receive a Razzie nomination for Worst Picture or Worst Director or Worst Screenplay.
That's a hell of a streak, man. He was doing
It's a
all
hell of a
3
streak.
every freaking movie that came out.
He was doing one of the 3 with every film since The Village.
Fuck, I never seen The Village either. I feel like that's when it started, right?
It was bad. The Village. I remember I was very young. Went to the 40. I was I don't know 10, 12, and picking it up at Brewers, our local home video store, and being so excited to watch The Village because it got all this hype, and just completely disappointed with the ending. Did you see The Village, Chris?
I have not seen The Village. I feel like
Oh,
The
okay.
Happening, and all
Spoiler
that
for you.
dog shit around that time Joey watched, and I did not.
Joy?
I remember going to the theaters and watching The Happening.
Mark Wahlberg.
It
Prequel
was
to the Fappening.
just watching Mark Wahlberg's facial expressions throughout the whole movie. That made it worth going to see. But it was dog shit. There's no bueno. Did have John Leguizamo in it. Anything with John Leguizamo, I'm gonna watch.
Johnny Legs. But he was probably at that point though, where any idea he had was gonna get greenlit. So it's kind of unfair to expect someone to keep hitting like that, you know, when his whole gimmick is come up with a twist and then write a movie around it.
Yeah, and he had set the bar so high with Unbreakable and The Sixth Sense that it was unattainable.
Yeah, he needed someone to tell him no on some of this shit.
I got one more factoid, but I'll hold it to the end if you guys have anything else.
Hey, that's more than what I got.
Well, outside of the betting the home, I came across that. I thought that was pretty cool. I did read that he had trouble setting the tone of the movie during the editing phase. He said the first cut of the film, he was talking to Bloody Disgusting, that first cut of the film was more like an art house movie than a horror movie. Second cut was the opposite. It became more of a comedy, and eventually thought he found a good balance and cut the film as what he calls a thriller, which, according to him, helped tie the different elements together so they could stay in service of the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about editing because it's not something people really consider, I guess, when they're watching a movie, like how many different movies you can make out of a string of footage. And like he said himself, he literally had 3 different genres he could have chosen from what he recorded. It's pretty
I
cool.
hope that one day they make a badass collection of all 3. That would be awesome.
I just want to see the pure comedy version. It's just more Dookie. The Dookie cut.
I do remember reading this little like tidbit about him trying to get the movie produced, and there was a lot of Hollywood executives that turned him down. Apparently, he kept a list of those executives, and a lot of them had been fired since because it was such a commercial success. We haven't talked about it, but I'm sure we will. But yeah, I guess he was making a Shyamalan's list instead of a Schindler's List.
Wow.
How about that?
These motherfuckers is going down.
I wish my voice wasn't fucked up.
Yeah, I got the box office numbers here since you touched on it. As we mentioned with the house, the budget was $5 million. The box office was $98.5 million.
God damn!
That's
Good
a rocket for a
investment.
comeback, Joy.
Good investment, M. Night.
Or as Palpatine would say, that's quite a lot of money.
Do it like Watto. What would Watto say?
That's a lot of cash.
The boy read his mother.
Let's hop into 2015's The Visit.
What time is it now? Isn't it getting late?
The film starts with Mom giving a spiel about how her husband, who was her teacher in college, left her with their 2 kids. She hasn't seen her parents in decades and finds it funny that they are now mental health counselors. The mom is played by Kathryn Hahn, who was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Hung, and Step Brothers.
I want to roll you up in a little ball and shove you up in my giant vagina.
Every time I feel a little tickle, I know it's you.
You could live in there. It's warm and cozy. Dude, that shit was so fucking funny, man.
Yeah, Step Brothers forever.
I gotta be honest, Kathryn Hahn is like one of my...
Dale, I hate my life.
Like, I really like her as an actor.
Yeah, she's done a lot of voice work, like you said. She does Doc Ock in the Spider-Verse movie, and she also was Agatha Harkness in WandaVision.
She's gonna have her own Marvel TV show. More of the more MCU. Here we go. Bring it on.
Let her get paid, man. Let her get paid.
Her 15-year-old daughter, Becca, is doing a documentary on her and her brother Tyler's upcoming visit to the grandparents' house. Becca is played by Olivia DeJonge, who played Priscilla in Elvis. and was in the movie Better Watch Out. Tyler is played by Ed Oxenbould, who was in Better Watch Out and Combat Wombat, which has a 2023 sequel.
This sounds like a knockoff of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I don't know. It's an animated feature.
All right, did either one of you notice? And I can't get over it. This kid's fucking face. He looks just like Kristen Connolly in the face, man. Dana
Kristen
from
Connolly?
Cabin in the Woods.
Mommy Dearest drives them to the train station and has a breakdown as they pull out of the depot. Becca holds the camera to her face and tells us that they are only doing this trip for their mom and boyfriend to have a getaway trip. And to be honest, they have no idea what their grandparents even look like. Tyler and a bus associate break down in an awkward rap session with some pretty terrible lines coming from that little boy.
I like how he has to end pretty much every verse with ho. Like, that's his go-to. That's his crutch at the end.
Get at me, ho.
The kid's a pimp, man. What did he say earlier in the movie? I got 2 girls on deck.
Dude, he keeps telling his sister to swerve. That shit is so fucking funny.
Becca and Tyler meet their grandparents when they arrive in Masonville, Pennsylvania. Nana has brought cookies, and Pop Pop seems nice enough. Nana, played by Dina Dunagan, who was in Stillwater and Asteroid City, and Pop Pop, played by Peter McRobbie, who was in Netflix's Daredevil series, and Lincoln.
Yeah, this old dude has one of those that guy faces. I think he was in Brokeback Mountain, too.
He was. I didn't want to bring it up because
He was on Boardwalk, man.
Because what? That's a great fucking movie. What's your problem with Brokeback Mountain, Ryan Hootie?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
No problem. I just want to make fun of it.
I love it. It's
Why
great.
not?
I'll defend it. I can't quit you.
That shit is so funny when them having sex with each other on the mountain.
Yeah, it's love. What's wrong with love?
Love is great. Love everybody.
Only 2 things to fuck on the mountain: sheep and dudes.
And then at the end with the shirt,
there.
man, that's such a good movie.
They arrive at the grandparents' home, and Nana asks why Tyler's pants are so low. Apparently, this little dude has a rap persona that she gets to hear all about. We get to hear more rhymes from Tyler, who thinks a rap should always end in, Chris has already alluded to, ho.
Ho. Yeah, they kept accusing this kid of, like, racial appropriation. I just didn't see it. Like, he didn't seem like he was emulating, like, African Americans to me. He just seemed like he rapped every once in a while.
That's culture, Chris. You're misappropriating culture.
That's American culture, man. All little kids are like rap
no.
music. Okay. Fuck me, right?
First of all, he called himself T Diamond Stylus. That right there was offensive in itself.
If anything, he's appropriating, like, YouTube culture, right? He's, like, leaning in the whole internet kid thing.
Oh, this is like Bieber. This is Justin Bieber here. Pop Pop shows them to their room and tells them not to go into the basement because there is mold down there. They don't want them to get sick. Becca and Tyler call their mom on Skype. Logo paid for right on the screen. She is getting ready for her Caribbean cruise and asking how her parents are. Tyler takes the camera outside and sees Pop Pop by the shed. He calls out for his Pop Pop, but he looks at him and walks away. You just have to love creepy old sheds, fellas.
You see this old dude chopping wood earlier in the movie? He was going fucking ham on some wood. Man.
He was whooping ass with that axe.
Terrifying. I've never seen him. It was like, what's his name? Fucking Ryan Reynolds in Amityville Horror. Dude was just going.
Don't bring it up. Don't you?
He made Ryan Reynolds look bad, dude. This dude was fucking
No.
killing it.
Man, Ryan Reynolds shirtless with a 6-pack chopping wood.
I just got I got a Christmas ornament in the mail from Ryan Reynolds, so I appreciate that. He's the CEO of my mobile carrier, so he sent me out a little ornament.
How about that? Shut up, Mint Mobile. Later that night, Pop Pop tells them that 9:30 p.m. is bedtime, and Becca is trying to put together the first part of her documentary with a real artsy-style editing concept. To your point earlier, there's a woman, whatever, really wanted to prove to the audience and her brother or whatever that she was this director. Maybe that's the part where the fans thought that was a little too much.
She was putting on a front or something, or she was
Yeah.
acting. I liked
I
it. Like
wonder
I
if
said,
this is a
it gave,
self-insert for M. Night Shyamalan.
he sees himself in her. Probably. I'm sure she
She had a
fed off
very
of his advice.
pretentious way of speaking.
She's a director, man. They're like the big brain on set wherever they go. I like the idea of a kid shooting a documentary. It's a good setup. Because when you give the camera to the kids, I think it allows for like the strange perceptions to kind of make sense. Like usually we run into these movies and it's a professional cameraman. And I'm like, well, why the fuck would he do this? Or why would he do that? Why would he keep recording this? But when it's a kid, exactly. But when it's a kid, it's a little different.
Well, you can
Changes the
tell by way she
psychology of the
speaks,
camera
too,
itself.
She's passionate about doing it. Like this is her thing. And the way the movie is shot, with it being found footage, the movie's actually like framed correctly and all this other stuff, is because she's experienced, she's practiced, she knows what she's doing.
Right, as an auteur, if you will, behind the camera work itself.
Well, she did a hell of a job.
It's good, man. It's good.
At 10:30 p.m., Becca wakes up with her hunger cravings for those sweet Nana cookies. She
Nana.
stumbles onto the dear old soul who was walking through the house, throwing up all over the floor.
Man, Nana must have gotten some bad walnuts.
I didn't understand this scene.
And walnuts came out the basement. You know they was covered in mold.
I wasn't sure why she was throwing up, but I guess we'll find out.
That's what old people do, Hootie. They walk around fucking throwing up.
Right there.
She just like crams cookies every night at 9:35, like hundreds at a time.
Becca and Tyler decide to play hide and seek in the crawl space of the house. Nana decides to join in on the fun and finds the kids first, telling them, "I'm going to get you."
Fuck a crawl space, dog. That's all I got to say about that. If there's any time to get under someone's home, do not give my ass a call.
I had the same note. I mean, shout out to our plumbers and electricians. Y'all got a fucked up job.
Fucking rats, possums, snakes, spiders. No. Sorry, dog. I'm out.
So the whole sequence of the hide and go seek shit in the basement, it was creepy, it was spooky, but it was definitely like over the top.
Yeah, I think they kind of get away with like incorrect blocking here because they would hear each other under there, right? Like the sound design doesn't seem to exist in that moment. The characters don't react to each other correctly. But it is creepy.
She's very spry for somebody her age.
She comes in like a fucking bull, literally like yeah, like some ring shit.
I didn't think
she
about
got
that.
she got a nice little ass on it too. Did y'all see what she got at the cross?
They did see them booty
butt
cheeks.
Booty, 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 booty rocking everywhere.
That was
This
all
is
right.
gotta be the most geriatric nudity we've encountered in the podcast so far.
To Joey's point, I didn't think about it when I was watching the film, but I mean, I've been in a crawl space, and yeah, you would hear somebody on the other side of the crawl space. It's not that damn big.
Yeah. I understand not seeing each other because of the columns, but you would hear everything. You're literally
Maybe.
like 2 feet off the ground.
Maybe T. Diamonds is listening to so much rap music that his eardrums are busted. They all run out of the crawl space, and Nana laughs it off, with half her ass hanging out, but still lets them know that she is making chicken pot pie. Dr. Sam from the hospital stops by to check on Nana and Pop Pop because they were supposed to be at an event a few days before. He is content with them just being out on a walk. In this scene, Dr. Sam, once learning about the documentary being filmed, quotes Macbeth saying, "Life's but a walking shadow."
There was a lot of convenient, they're out for a walk scenes in this movie. Because we get several visitors, and every time they're conveniently like not in the house when the visitors show up.
I thought about that. I mean, we'll get deeper into this film, but when I was a kid and I visited grandparents for more than one day, you do stuff with your grandparents. But for most of this film, they don't do anything with their grandparents.
Yeah, they're kind of just entertaining themselves and watching them like from the corners, being fucking weird.
Tyler decides to check out the old woodshed alone. He finds a pile, and I mean a pile, of used Depend diapers covered in that sweet Duke. Nana finds him and tells Tyler that Pop-Pop has a condition, and that he must understand.
He just dukes a lot. Sorry, I mean, he's embarrassed.
All that cooking this bitch does, man, and fucking duty's got to go somewhere.
All them cookies just run right through his ass.
He could just put him in the trash can.
It's a shame. He can't do that. He don't want people to find him. His incontinence is his burden.
So do you buy what she says that he's building a pile to burn later?
At this point, yes, but by movie's end, I'm sure there's some other sadistic fucking use for him. The way they build the character up at this point, they show he's like a strong, independent guy. He likes to like chop wood, take care of chickens, all this other shit. He doesn't want it to seem like he can't do something as mundane and commonplace as making it to the toilet.
I would not want to be there for that bonfire, though. That's got to smell awful.
Nothing like the smell of napalm and pop shit in the morning.
I mean, by movie's end, it's probably she's making a dookie soup or some shit.
God.
Fucking giving it out. But we're not there yet.
So we've all seen this at least once, right?
Yes.
I've only seen it once before we started watching.
Same here.
Same spot.
I think it might be better on a second watch with the information going into it, you know.
Whoa, that's a hot take.
That is a hot take. 'Cause it's exactly the opposite of how I feel.
Yeah, I'm about the same boat with Joey. Oh, wait.
A fucking M. Night Shyamalan movie is like a can of tuna. Once I empty the can goes in the trash. I'm never messing with that can again.
What other cans of products do you reuse? That's now what I want to know.
I'm just saying his movies are disposable.
Okay.
They stank.
You watch it. It's hard to watch them a second time because you know what's happening.
Yeah, I would second that.
I think maybe this is the point I'm trying to make here. It's like a magic trick, right? Like you see it, and you instantly kind of like, all right, how did you do that? So you run through it maybe one more time. Maybe a third time is a waste of time.
The kids and Pop go into town to see their mother's high school. Pop ends up attacking a random man who he thinks is following them.
Stop following me. He fucking charges some dude and knocks his ass down.
He's like, this motherfucker's been tracking
This
us.
guy's like, whoa, Grandpa, what's your problem?
I thought that was M. Night for a second because I know he likes the cameo. I don't think he's in this movie, is he?
He is not. One of the few films that he directed, he's not in. Hot take here from me, he is in way too much of the film Old. That night, the kids wake up to a strange noise outside their room at 10:47 p.m. They open the door to find Nana completely naked, scratching at the door across the hall. More old women nudity.
Nana got that cat scratch fever.
I think we saw some boobs here, too.
She got that cat scratch fever and that nice ass.
How about
Saw
that?
them side of them boobies, too, man.
Nana.
She bring the cookies and the milk.
Becca tells Pop the next day, and he tells her just not to come out of their room after 9:30 p.m. Simple rules. And then dresses for a costume party that he realizes is not actually happening.
Yeah, it's here that he discusses with Becca like the condition that's causing her to have these sort of reactions at nighttime. It's called sundowning. In dementia patients, the disorientation of like when it goes dark outside like fucks them up, and they start to act out and they become delusional. And apparently in this case, she starts to act like a fucking animal.
Yeah, I think this was kind of like the impetus for M. Night's whole idea. When I was reading up on it, I guess he had read up on the idea of sundown syndrome, is what they call it. And the idea that someone could kind of become someone else at night is what kind of got him. Like that was the grain of the idea, is kind of what he built everything around.
It's a cool concept.
It's
Also
scary,
terrifying.
yeah. It's definitely one of those, like, I think at this point, right after this, Tyler says something along the lines of, she turns into Michael Myers at night. Well, that's pretty fucking cool. Pretty cool idea to think about.
I mean, if you and your partner grow old together and then they get dementia and it's a whole different person while you're sleeping at nighttime,
Yeah.
it's pretty terrifying.
Definitely has, like, those, like, Edgar Allan Poe type horror elements, you know, like the real life horrors of our mortality, not the Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger type shit.
It can go the other way too, though. But like the daytime, you get the one that's like the woman that cooks for you and is all sweet and shit. At nighttime, she get dirty as fuck.
How about that?
Hey.
She lets you go in the back door.
Well, with that biscuit batter. Speaking of biscuit
I don't
batter.
think Pop is a fan of back doors. It's too much shame.
Way too much shame. Nana spills biscuit batter on Becca's computer, and that was some thick damn biscuit batter. More specifically, the camera, and they cannot seem to get it off. They later have a Skype call with Mom, who can no longer see them, but is enjoying a hairy chess competition on her cruise. Fellas,
She should have invited us, man. I think
How about that?
the three of us would have made it.
Oh,
That fucking biscuit batter was like concrete.
I don't know.
I think Pop might have thrown something in the mix there, if you know what I'm saying.
That was some wild-looking biscuit batter. Nana asks Becca to climb inside the oven to clean it. She agrees, and Becca climbs into the oven. I got a question here. This happened more than once. How deep is this damn oven?
Deeper, 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 deeper.
Oh, nice and deep.
Dude, that
like.
was some Hansel and Gretel shit crawling in a damn oven like that, man. That was wild.
It's almost like the damn oven. The oven is like a place you cremate somebody in. You fit a whole human body in there.
It's like it feeds into a damn chimney or something almost, yeah. I was more shocked at how sturdy the fucking door was. That girl was just like sitting on it.
Oh, she was sitting on the door.
I was like, hot damn, what do they make these out of? Why don't you just make the whole house out of the oven door?
Nana agrees to be interviewed by Becca and her fancy camera. She tells the story of how she and Pop met, and then freaks out when asked why their mother left at 15 years old. The interview is most certainly over.
Dude, she does not like talking about her daughter. She started punching herself in the fucking face.
This is some of the creepiest shit in the whole movie, man. I just don't know how to react to those types of things.
It's creepy, but I have questions as to why it happened, which we'll get into later.
She asked her Nana, like, how she met Pop. She says, in a garden, has a strong personality, and a dick that could choke a giraffe.
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
Oh, God. I can feel it.
Deeper, 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 deeper.
Can you feel it, Becca?
Nana?
Nana, you are fingering yourself on camera right now.
Swerve, Nana, swerve.
Swerve, ho.
Later that night, Tyler walks out of his room after 9:30 p.m. to find Nana running around the house and then after him on all fours, back to the animalistic nature of the crawl space.
She was fucking Naruto running before Naruto running
Saw it.
was a thing, bro.
That's exactly what I
This
saw.
was the first case of Naruto running ever.
I like later on when he's clowning her ass, he like does the pose. He's like, "Who am I?"
Oh.
I was like, "What a little piece of shit kid." That's exactly what a kid would do, though.
To the point of the whole sundown theory, she was chasing them in the crawl space during the day, so they kind of wipes that out there.
I was
Oh,
just
she
her
was
having
just
fun,
being
man.
playful. Yeah.
Let's be playful.
Just being limber.
they're being playful.
Just being limber.
The kids go for a walk with their grandparents and get to see Nana staring into a well, just pondering her life. Tyler tests his interview skills on Becca and asks her why she never looks at herself in the mirror and why she thinks she is worthless. That
This
was
little
very offensive.
fucker went in deep, man.
Hey, that even got me. I was like, shit.
I thought they were just
Like
fucking around.
Surface level, this kid just seems like a fucking goofball, goober, fake rapper, wannabe guy. But right here, this moment, you can really tell he pays attention and he knows his sister more than she almost knows herself.
Becca tells the audience that old footage from their childhood would be omitted from the documentary because that has their dad in it, which would mean she forgave him. Burn, fellas. Burn.
Yeah, did we go
She said,
over
"Fuck
like
that
what
dude."
happened with her dad? He hooked up with their mom when she was like 19, and then had the kids a little while after that, and then he fell in love with a fucking waitress and moved away.
What a piece of shit.
He somebody served him some gave him an extra chicken nugget or some shit. Said we about to fuck. Let's
There's
go.
nothing like his shitty dad in a horror movie, man.
Well, they said that he was a professor. He probably worked a long night, went to the local Waffle House, and Waffle Houses sometimes be hidden.
Oh, yeah, he was professor, all right. He fucking studied anatomy.
He was professing something.
He knew exactly where the clitoris was.
Professorially.
A woman named Stacy comes by the house who was a former patient of the grandparents, asking for them because they were supposed to be at her house last Saturday, but, of course, never showed. The grandparents are out again on a walk. A little while later, Becca finds Nana rocking in the corner of the living room and laughing at a yodeling vinyl record. Becca interrupts Nana, who then tells her that she has the darkies and begins to strangle herself, proclaiming that you have to laugh to keep the darkies at bay.
Keep the darkies at bay.
The deep darkies.
So you're telling me this lady was racist on top of being fucking crazy?
I can't stand those deep darkies.
I thought the same thing.
The product of a different time, man. And then she's just hanging herself.
When she grabs her scarf and just starts choking herself, that was like, whoa.
That's uncomfortable, man. Like, what do you do in that situation? She's just like, just don't do that. I would just walk away. All right, I'm out.
Well, it's nice knowing you, Nana. Becca then finds Pop Pop cleaning a gun in the barn by placing it in his mouth.
But
he assures Becca that he was just cleaning it.
Oh, I was just cleaning it. Hell yeah, I'm giving it that fucking spit shine.
He hit her with the classic, somebody catches you jerking off. Granny, don't.
The kids place a hidden camera in the living room, which captures Nana slamming doors before she finds the camera and carries it back to the kids' room.
Oh, she don't just find it. She fucking growls at it.
The fact that she found the camera
It was literally
little,
the fucking, it was like jump scare corniness at its worst, man. It was
Yeah.
so bad.
You tell me you didn't jump a little bit, though.
Yeah, jump, but it
jump,
doesn't make it
I mean-
scary. It's fucking startling.
Joey went straight pop
It's
pop,
not
had to go to the
scary.
bathroom and clean his damn shorts. I mean,
I gotta
yeah,
burn this kid.
it was scary.
Yeah, I got a pile of them out there in the fucking shed.
Didn't scare me, though.
Joe's got a pile in his fruit cellar.
In crawl space.
Becca decides to interview Pop Pop, who tells her about his time in the coal industry. He worked at a factory and saw a white thing running around with yellow eyes. The company fired him shortly after.
I have no idea
Yeah,
why.
he saw a lot of deep darkies in that coal mine. All that coal down there.
Like an episode of fucking Scooby-Doo all over again.
Stacy comes back to the house and talks with the grandparents, but they never see Stacy leave the house. Becca interviews Nana one more time before the trip ends. Nana tells a story about little creatures with antennas, which is just plain old fun. Becca tells Nana a gripping story that brings Nana to tears.
Yeah, Nana's like a damn L. Ron Hubbard miniature
Dude, she's talking
sci-fi
about
writer.
Planet Sinmorphatelia.
Hell yeah, man. I was interested in the story for a minute. I was
Dude,
like, shit, she gonna
here's
write a
the thing.
book?
I think that's the plot for Lady in the Water.
Oh,
probably
God
is.
damn
You
it.
just go watch that movie. They made a movie about her fucking thing, you know?
They're all in the same universe. Damn it, I gotta watch it now.
Becca and Tyler then call Mom to tell her to get there as fast as possible because something is wrong. They show Mom the grandparents on the Skype call, to which Mom tells them, for a very weird, pregnant pause, that those are not your grandparents.
She keeps saying,
Listen.
I need you to listen to me. Just listen to me.
Listen,
Fucking
baby.
Today, Junior, spit the fuck out, bitch.
You're on
What are you
Skype.
taking
Like, what are
her
you-
so
Listen,
fucking long
baby.
to talk?
That was weird. That dialogue and setup was very strange.
It was a good moment though. I mean, you're watching it without the virgin eyes, but in that moment when it's said out loud, it's the whole click of the movie.
Simple yet effective.
That's why you delay it and you build it up because you want that release.
I'm sure when I watched this, when it first came out in the theaters, I had the same reaction I was supposed to have, but on rewatch, it was...
Who's like, I'm too smart for this dumb shit. I bet they're not even the right people.
This movie,
You prejudiced
this, mo-
bastards.
this movie is like edging throughout the entire fucking movie.
Every good horror movie is,
They
man.
build fucking tension, they deflate it. They build tension, deflate it. Build tension, deflate it. And here's where the tension, like, just, climbs, and it starts to overrun
Starts to ooze down like your knuckles.
the shaft.
Mom calls the police department and tells the kids to get out of the house and try to get to a neighbor's house. Pop Pop walks in and proclaims that they should play a board game because it's their last night. Families play board games, he proclaims.
Yeah, this is like the most interested he's in the kids all of a sudden.
It's almost like they knew that the kids knew.
That the jig was up, yeah. Maybe that's the case, maybe it's not. I really couldn't tell how in tuned these two older folks
Well,
are.
they knew it
with
was the
actual
last
events.
night. Like, they were going to spend together. So I guess they wanted to make it special,
Yeah, I mean,
Make
I
it
guess it was
special.
all climaxing to this, and they knew it was going to happen either way.
Right, I guess they had a plan, but I guess his personality in general kind of like changes here. I don't feel like Nana's ever really did, so it just seemed convenient, I guess, in a way.
I think Pop Pop was just fucking tired of playing the grandpa role.
He was like, "Oh, should we finally get into the good shit?"
Oh boy, we're playing Yahtzee. Becca is forced to clean the oven again for Nana, who closes the door on her this time. Pop Pop walks in with the Yahtzee baby. Pop Pop is very competitive.
Dude, for a second, Becca was buried like Ryan Reynolds in that shit movie he was in.
Buried. I like that movie. Another one I've only ever seen once.
I like how Nana holds the door closed and then opens it up. Okay, all done.
She said,
let me
she
get
says, hold
this.
on, I got to clean this shit. It ain't going to take long.
Let's just take a minute.
Tyler's sitting there like a fucking fish out of water. Just
He's
chilling.
frozen, man. Well, he didn't mention, but earlier he had a whole monologue about why he thought Dad left was because in a football game, when he was a little kid, the running back broke through and he's the safety, and instead of tackling the kid, he just freezes.
Running back hit his ass with a Derrick Henry, boy.
He just freezes. Doesn't even
Palm
chase
right in
his
his
ass.
face.
And to a kid, I could see that being your thought process. That kind of makes sense to a kid.
Hell, I would have left too. I would have been ashamed.
How about that?
Raised that little fucking bedwetter.
The kids are about to walk out of the house, but see Stacy hanging from a tree. Or do they? They then just go and play Yahtzee like a normal family.
I did like that shot.
Apparently, Pop Pop is a Yahtzee master. Takes 10 years to be a master, according to Nana.
Nana clowns his ass.
Nana fucking dogs his ass.
They think I'm the best in the cafeteria. What cafeteria? It's totally
What
fucking
cafeteria,
noisy.
Pop Pop? And motherfuckers looking around and shit. Oh, yeah.
I love that Nana goes, that takes 10 years.
You stupid son bitch. That's exactly how people who've been together for 60 years would talk to each other.
Dude, this right here is some of the best dialogue in the movie. This whole Yahtzee game.
I've never played
says,
Yahtzee.
He says,
Nah,
he's
man.
fucking, Pop Pop's playing right beside Tyler. And Tyler doesn't know what he's doing, but Tyler's like doing well. And the fucking Pop Pop says, he's doing very well. He's using a Milton Bradley approved strategy. And then fucking
Becca
Becca,
get his ass.
smart ass bitch, they don't own it anymore. It's Hasbro now.
Got
Pop
him.
Pop looks fucking stunned, bro. They all dogging his ass all of a sudden.
He's the man in the house. Show him some damn respect.
Look, they dog him so bad right here. He does something in his britches. Is Hoodie's at your next. Is that just segue to what you gonna talk about next?
It's it's right here.
All right.
Pop Pop rolls his dice, goes dead eyes, and leaves the table. Nana begins to eat cookies vigorously and screams Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. Right into the fucking camera.
Did we audibly hear him shit himself right here?
I think we did.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
like a
know what-
whole rumbling fart and then like a squish.
So you think that he went dead eyes because of the shit and not what he rolled on the dice?
He
No,
was
no, no.
It was
He told you
simultaneous. He shit his pants as he rolled.
You know, it's time to add to his shit shrine he's got out in the fucking barn.
I thought that he had rolled dice so bad because he's a Yahtzee master that he just shit himself because it was such a bad roll.
He was reacting to the shitty roll.
Becca goes into the basement and finds a uniform for Maple Shade Psychiatric Hospital, and then her two dead grandparents in a chest freezer.
Wait, I think it was a trash can, brother.
Was it a trash can?
Yeah. There was like hammers and pictures of the
That's
The
why I
actual
said earlier you gonna
grandparents
throw
and
the old
shit.
people in the trash.
dump.
That's
them
what
in
I was
the trash.
referencing.
Well, that kind of makes sense now. Okay. Pop Pop finds Becca and tells her that it was rude of them to tell Claire about this week because she put her kids into those suitcases in the pond. Claire deserved this weekend to be a grandma finally.
Claire put her youngins in a suitcase and yeeted them right into a pond.
Jesus.
Now they're fucking living peacefully on planet Simorfatelia.
With the antennas. Pop Pop takes Becca upstairs to Nana's room and locks her in. He then goes to fuck with Tyler by taking his Depends off and rubbing them into Tyler's face.
He says, "You got a thing with germs, right? You know, I never liked you."
Boy, he gave Tyler the fucking pink eye special, fucking no-scoped his ass.
Hit him with the Rikishi.
Boom, headshot. This whole fucking sequence right here, the movie's been like building up to it. It is very, very, very fucking disturbing.
Yeah, the kid's a big germaphobe. He like wipes down counters and shit all the time. He has a whole like freak out session earlier where he thinks there's dirt on his hands that he can't get off. So it's just next level for him.
When he takes Becca upstairs and locks her in the room, he says some of the most savage shit. He says, "We're all dying today, Becca."
Yeah. Fucking
wild, man.
So this bit of dialogue, this kind of outlining Nana's psychosis and then what's going to happen was, I don't know, kind of chilling. Because this kind of shit really happens. Like, people go through these experiences, do this shit to their kids, you know. And you were saying, Hootie, earlier, you didn't understand why she reacted the way she did during the interview when she was asked to talk about her daughter. I'm assuming this is why, because she chucked them into a fucking suitcase into a pond.
Oh, put him in that goddamn. What's that? What's the name of that fucking Swanson? Is that Samsonite?
Samsonite. I was way off.
Those her ass in the fucking Samsonite. I was way off.
I got a Samsonite luggage actually.
How about that, rich motherfucker?
I can see it in my mind her doing some fucking Olympic style toss where she's got it by the handle and is spinning in
like the
circles.
full 360 spin.
I mean, if there's ever a more athletic grandma, it's Nana.
Oh, she's flexible. She get on the fucking javelin to get in the, what is it, the pole vault?
Meanwhile, Nana is crawling under the bed for Becca and playing peekaboo with Becca before she slams her head into a mirror, forcing Becca to stab Nana to death.
So you guys weren't into the whole jump scare bits. How'd you feel about this whole scene?
I mean, I've never really liked jump scare shit anyway. I mean, it feels cheap when it's overused. When it's relied upon as the only source of horror, then yeah, it's fucking weak in my opinion. But how do we feel about what part of it?
The whole bedroom sequence, because it's not jump scares, but it's,
no, it wasn't jump scary at all.
It's the whole like panning upstairs.
It's
in the
anticipation
attic in record, you know.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it wasn't jump scary at all. This was actually like
it's kind of a derivative
legit
of jump scare. Though.
Tension. This was a good build up in my opinion.
Scary though. Scary to be locked in a room with this woman.
Oh yeah, terrifying. Dude, the way she was gumming her neck, bro.
She had the light though. This is my only peeve with it. Why would she ever take it off of her?
I had a similar note written here as well that the light thing was.
I'm not gonna let her play around in the dark. I'm gonna fucking watch your ass.
Becca breaks out of the room and attacks Pop Pop. Tyler finishes him off by slamming his head with the fridge door.
All right, before we talk about that, can we talk about her breaking out of the room?
She
Okay.
smashes the camera against the doorknob.
She uses a fucking camera against the doorknob to bust the goddamn doorknob off.
Yeah, I did not like the way this was shot either. It felt weird.
All right, I look at it this way. All right, it's talked about in the movie how like she's always behind the camera, and she kind of uses the camera as her shield. And I guess her using it to break off the doorknob could be some metaphor about her. Instead of it being her shield, now it's her sword. Now it's her like source of power or something. There's literally a goddamn fire poker right next to the door that she could have picked up at any fucking moment. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but that right there kind of like took me out of it.
Yeah, I guess my only pushback would be this is literally a child at a moment of panic. So who knows?
Using a camera?
She's a kid, man.
You think your iPhone's going to open a door?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Shot.
I didn't like the way that it was. I don't know. I didn't like the way it was framed either. But people in panic, you never know what they're going to do.
The two kids run out of the house and into the loving arms of their mother. Mom finally tells the kids what happened when she was young. The day she left, she hit her mother, and her father hit her. She left in shock and refused to take their calls for all those years. Forgiveness was there whenever she wanted it, but the mom never took the time to take it. Mom tells Becca to never hang on to anger. The film ends with a home video footage of the boy rapping.
Now known as T Dookie Lips.
T doo-doo face.
He's got Dookie all over his face. Well, his redemption arc, where he tackles the grandpa earlier and slams his head into like a fridge door, and the whole time he's screaming, "Watch his hips, rap with your arms." He's talking about he's reliving
days.
the story from earlier where he disappointed his father, his coach, and everybody in the stands, and this is his coming to just breaking out of that mold and finding strength and courage. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think he tried to give the kid something to do there because, like I said earlier, he'd frozen like 3 different times when his sister was being like harassed. And in the beginning of that scene, he's still just standing there while Pop's like manhandling her. And he finally snaps to and fucks him up pretty good.
And in my mind too, with Catherine Hahn being like a comedian, in my mind I can see her saying out loud to fucking Tyler when he like hugs her, "Damn Tyler, you been eating shit or what?"
Damn Tyler, you smell like fucking shit. You smell like Pop's dookie hole. This is another movie where if the mom would have just been fucking honest with the kids, none of this would have happened.
And with that, we wrap up 2015's The Visit, fellas. What piece of memorabilia would you like to have in your home from this film?
Not a fan of nuts in my cookie, but I'm a big fan of nutting because of a cookie. Gotta try them burnt walnut cookies Nana makes.
I had Nana's cookies.
You know them gonna be good.
Written down as
You
well.
know they're gonna be good.
Give me them burnt nuts, baby.
Dude, I hate walnuts, man, but you know they're gonna make you nut.
Hootie wants the dress with the butt hanging out of it.
Oh, 100%. That's
I'll take a handful of them used diapers if
That's
you don't
Granny's
mind.
real biscuits.
I don't want it. I need it. Me being a former fat guy at heart, that means the fat guy is still inside of me. And therefore, every now and again, you got to feed him. And I want to feed him those sweet Nana cookies.
Nana cookies.
3 Pete going 3 for 3 for 3.
Is this the ones? Was that what she was like spitting out when she did the whole Yahtzee bit?
No, fuck, man. Them are powdered sugar
Yeah,
cookies.
fuck
That
the
looks
powders.
gross.
I can't tell what that bitch was up to, man. She was creepy.
I only chose the cookies because Becca wakes up in the middle of the night the first night and says, "I got to get some of them cookies."
She's fiending for them cookies like it's got heroin in them.
Cookies.
How good are them damn cookies?
Damn, Pop's down there munching on Nana's biscuit. I'm gonna get some of these cookies.
All right, fellas, let's wrap this thing up. Let's bring it home. What did you think of M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit?
Mr. M. Night Shyamalan earned his stripes. He lost them. He earned them back again with this one. I caught this one in theaters and had not seen it since. It does hit on being a touch better for me on a second viewing, minus the Tyler rapping cringe bit. The fears are real. Getting old fucking sucks. And that adds a unique villainy to this movie. It's also maybe the least intrusive use of found footage in my opinion, which goes a long way in boosting my opinion of the movie. It is very hard for these movies to use found footage effectively, and this is a good example of how it can be done correctly. So Mr. M. Night Shyamalan earns himself a B- in my class.
Well deserved, well deserved. Saw The Visit when it first came out back in 2015, and I've never rewatched it up until it came up on our random wheel. This was the start of M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's comeback tour after a string of flops over an almost 10-year period from 2006 to 2013. Those movies were Lady in the Water, The Happening, The Last Airbender, After Earth. So this was a return to form, if you will, getting away from the big blockbuster budgets and back to smaller, more personal productions. It was a new experience rewatching it and knowing what the twist was from the start, trying to pick out the subtle hints that alluded to that hallmark twist that his movies typically have. The Visit is what you'd call comedy-heavy, horror-light, a diet horror movie. I might even go as far as to call it a dark comedy. In terms of the acting, the performances are really good, particularly Deanna Dunnigan as Nana. She plays both sides of the coin well, the sweet caring grandma and the creepy deranged geriatric. For me personally, what gives The Visit its most potent horror elements is the elderly characters themselves, seeing their deteriorating mental states and the realization that this is the bleak reality of growing older for some people. It's very real and, to me, terrifying. The ever increasing unease and creepiness continues throughout the movie, going out of its way to build tension, only for most of that tension to be broken by some sort of out of place, witty joke or comment. And that's a big negative for me, the inability for the movie to maintain that uneasiness in an organic way. The big reveal / twist itself is simple, yet very effective, and leaves its mark. But that's the problem with the M. Night Shyamalan movies. Once you've seen them the first time and know what to expect, the sense of wonder and awe it goes with it. I mean, it just goes away. Especially if the movie at its core isn't a good movie. Then it won't hold up to repeat viewings. The twist can't carry the film alone. And at its core, The Visit is, it's that. It's a decent movie. PG-13 horror is typically a joke unto itself, but this is PG-13 horror done right. 2015's The Visit grades out with a C.
The Visit is a film that I remembered fondly over the years since first watching it opening weekend back in 2015. I would consider myself a fan of Shyamalan. However, that does not mean that I love all of his work. But when it comes to horror, the man knows how to carve out a decent film. With that being said, the found footage aspect of this film was fantastic in his approach and was extremely effective. But as Shyamalan always does, the twist is basically the main point of his films. And due to that, for me, they're not that rewatchable. This might be the only Shyamalan movie that I've actually rewatched. I still enjoyed it, and it was well acted for the most part. I'm giving this film a B.
All right, boys, let's get back to our Rotten Tomatoes game. How shitty we are at this game we play. We took a guess at the fan score on Rotten Tomatoes for The Visit. I'll recap us in order. Starting with the high man, Mr. Hootie at 74. I dropped a 69. Joyce at a 60. So if anybody's within 5, they get to pick up the mantle and choose what's next. The actual score was a 51 for the audience.
Yeah,
It's pretty low.
that was my Price is Right losing music.
I think the critics kind of like this one compared to the average moviegoer, apparently.
I'm shocked that I thought it was the other way around.
Would you say, what a twist?
Looks like we're due for another random movie, unfortunately. Or perhaps fortunately. We have a holiday on the horizon you may have heard of. Birth date of one Jesus Christ. Christmas.
Hanukkah, let's go, baby!
We have a Christmas coming up soon, so we have an obligatory movie to cover here in the third entry of our Nightmare Before Christmas series. We'll be covering Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, for the next episode.
Such a good film.
I wish my throat wasn't hurting so I could sing the song to y'all.
The whole song.
Dream Warriors.
Dream Warrior. Let me do it as Darth Sidious. Dream Warriors.
So yeah, it looks like we're going to wrap up the year hanging out with our boy Freddie before we hop into 2024.
This is going to wrap up our third year of doing the show, fellas.
I've actually never seen this movie.
I think you say you haven't seen it, but I think once you start watching it, you'll realize you have.
I may have seen like 5 minutes of it at some point. All right, folks, we're going to check out the trailer. If you go to our YouTube, you can watch with us and hear our reaction in real time. So we got nothing at stake here since we're already on the lam for a rando movie. But have at it, boys. What's the audience score of that there movie, Nightmare on Elm Street 3?
I'm going to go with a 65.
I'm so bad at this. This is a very well-liked installment of this franchise. I'm going to go 74.
Ooh, from what I understand, yeah, this is a fan favorite. But I still feel like it's a horror movie sequel, so it's going to be a detractor. So let me get a 60.
For me, this is an A movie, but I know how people are.
I'm pretty sure either it was written or directed by Frank Darabont.
Frankie D got a touch in there? Cool. All right, folks, thank you for listening. Check out our website, horrorfilmschool.com. You will find links to all our podcast platforms, the Instagram, and the merch page as well. Go check that out. Buy something cool. Give us a follow. Leave a review if you can. That's super helpful. It helps us reach new folks. Send us some fresh Depends. I'm going to say goodbye and offer my support to women trying to enjoy any bit of me time on a luxury cruise with a hairy guy named Miguel. Get that sunscreen out and get all up in those chest hairs.
What a send-off. As always, if you're hearing our voices, tell at least one person you know, spread the love, spread the campaign of the Horrible Film School. And I'm going to take this time to go grab my Freddy glove, put on that Christmas sweater, and enjoy myself. I'm out.
Thanks for all the likes, the subs, the listens, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us next time when we take on the Dream Demon in 1987's A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. Class dismissed.